Okay, just let me know when you're recording. Okay, so I wanted to make the, hold on a second, that was getting me in the eye. Okay, I wanted to make this update video on taking care of my Moso bamboo, because I've made a couple videos about this bamboo already and how I planted it and how it's grown the past 2 seasons, but I haven't really talked about how I actually take care of it. Now this rule applies for pretty much all bamboo, but I'm focusing more specifically on the Moso here because the Moso is the least cold tolerant out of all the bamboos I have growing back here, which is only a total of 3. But as far as what I do to supplement the soil, I use this garden lime here. This is by Espoma. Very good for balancing the pH of your soil. So I use that in the spring before everything starts shooting, just to make sure that the pH of the soil is good. I also use the iron tone here, which is just an iron supplement, and I use that also before they start shooting. I give a little bit of regular lawn fertilizer that's just high nitrogen, and I also use a little bit of Milorganite. I don't have a bag of that here with me to show you, but there'll be a picture up here in the video. Milorganite is pretty cheap. For I think a 40-pound bag is like 12 bucks from like Home Depot. It's pretty much going to do the same thing that your lawn fertilizers are going to do, but you can put a lot of it down without having to worry about burning anything out. It is sort of a slow release type of thing. So transitioning into fall and winter, what I actually do is I put down wood chips. I have been putting down mulch in the past, but mulch is expensive, not necessary. I do wood chips. It's just regular old wood chips here from ground up trees. That's all it is. Very, very cheap. Put down about 4 inches of that across the ground, not just where it's growing, but several feet beyond where they're growing to insulate the roots. And because I put that down, that acidifies the soil as it breaks down. It also sucks up a lot of nitrogen when the bacteria and everything eat it. So I put down a lot of nitrogen fertilizer before winter with the mulch along with that garden lime, so everything stays in good balance. And this Moso here actually is very green. It's not normally this green, but since I put down the Milorganite, it's actually greened up a lot and looking a lot healthier than it did earlier in the summer. So Milorganite's good. And honestly, I don't measure out any one of these things that I use, any of the fertilizer or nothing like that. I take handfuls of it, just toss it down, and it does just fine. And actually this year I have been watering it a lot too, more towards the late summer, early fall here because it's been so dry. And I've been watering it every other day. For some reason, Moso tends to curl its leaves up quite a bit, and it's been doing that a lot lately, so I decided to water. So if you see that happening with your bamboo, make sure you give it some water. I've been doing it every other day for about 15 to 20 minutes. Now last winter, when I actually wanted to try to prevent this from dying over winter or freezing, I actually folded it, and it wasn't this big before, but I actually folded it down to the ground and put a cover over it and then put some leaves around it. That was not good because I guess it did its job, but the leaves started decaying because there's so much condensation that built up inside of it. It didn't get cold enough to really freeze everything. So I actually undid that, and I'm not going to do that again this season. What I'm actually going to do is build basically just a simple teepee around this and then put plastic around there to prevent it from getting too much cold winds getting blown on it, because this stuff here, it will come back next spring, even if this dies up here, but the cans are going to be smaller. The whole goal is to try to get everything big. So I'm actually going to protect it probably one more season here from the cold winds, because it's really, if you can just block the wind, that's going to prevent everything from drying out as much. And also a little bit of sunlight is going to basically act like a greenhouse effect, so it'll kind of help keep it a little bit warmer. So that is one thing I am going to do one more time before we get into winter here, is build a little teepee around this, probably in December. But other than that, that's pretty much it for this video. I will probably see you next spring here if you're interested in following the growth of this Moso bamboo here in Northeast Ohio. And we'll see you in the next one. So thanks for watching.